Wow, no wonder it's been bumping and smashing. Not much left. The other side's even worse, actually. So yeah, that's what my bumping sound is from. And if you're having the same problem, I guess you probably already know what that bumping sound sounds like. Hey, welcome to Jamieson's Repair Shop. My name's Alvin. This is my channel. Thank you for stopping by. Well, what's going on today? What is this one? This 79 F100 custom truck. It's a short bed truck. It's a factory short bed. It's not been shortened. It was a factory 300, the poor man's diesel, 300 6-cylinder inline 6 engine. And it originally came with a 4-speed overdrive, which was an optional transmission for that year on these things. This is the original color. It is the yellow. I think code 6 is the yellow paint code for this one. And I think that was optional too, because they had 2 different yellows. So anyway, the truck is actually my wife's truck. And when we got it, she drove it quite a bit and she loved driving it. And over the past while, the last few years, she just didn't want to drive it anymore. She found it hard to control on the highway. And we don't use the truck a lot. We'll take it out in the summer for a cruise, haul some stuff to the dump or whatever, right? But she decided that she wasn't going to drive anymore because it's all over the road, but she'd like to drive it this summer some. She'd like to run over to her mom's and just cruise in it because that's her truck, you know? And so what's going on is the radius arm bushings are completely gone in this truck. So that's what we're doing here today. We're going to put the new radius arm bushings in this truck so I can get my wife back on the road again. And so she can enjoy this classic old Ford Dentside truck. So let's get at it. We'll get underneath there and we'll get something done. So I've got my Hitachi electric impact. Man, this has been a good impact. So let's see what happens here with this, because this is on there. So you guys can see that, but it's coming off. We'll give it a few shots back and forth. So I'm using a 29mm socket. I believe this is an 1 1/8. Look at that. Honestly, it doesn't get any easier than that. I have to say, it just doesn't. Let's pull the wheel off. There, one wheel off. I'm not going to take the brake caliper off, though I do need new brake lines by the looks of it. They're bad shape. Oof, I'll have to order some of those. So I'm going to drop the shock off. A little shock, a little tapperoni there. Get out of there, you. There we go. Wow, stubborn or what? There. So I'll keep the jack under the I-beam. Let's see if I can get this big nut off the perch. And that nut is holding on a big washer that holds the spring in place. So I got to get that undone. So I got to get a wrench for that. If you don't have a large set of wrenches, this is an 1 1/8 closed end socket wrench. And then on the other end, 1 1/2 inches. Now what that is for, you can get this at Home Depot. That's where I got it. It's a Husky tool. And it's for taking trailer hitch balls off, the nuts and trailer hitch balls. So they were cheap. I think it was only $16. So if you don't want to invest in a great big set of wrenches for this stuff, you can go get one of those and it'll do this job. There she comes. All right, a little tip. If you keep some pressure, upward pressure on the I-beam, you can keep that bolt up and the wrench will run nicely in this coil section here. And when you get to the top, it should come off fairly easy. So you pop that up and it sits down like this. So it has to go back on the same way. So there we are. So now that's out of the way. So the spring perch has to come off. And there it is there. Yeah. So there's the spring perch. So you'll see right here, there's a big nut and a bolt that goes through. All right, let's spray this down. Left-hand job, I guess. There's not a lot of bolts to take out on this, but I think I can do it without taking that spring off. I won't be able to put an impact on it though, that's all. First I'm going to give it a nudge. There we go. See if it'll break free, and if it won't, I'll let it sit for a while, and then I'll have to put heat on it. If I have to, I have to. There's that guy with no muffler again. Someone should buy him a muffler. Oh. Now remember, your truck is up on stands here, so you should support yourself, which I'm going to put my foot against the frame. You don't want to pull it off the jack stands on you. Oh yeah. Whoo, doggies. All right, I'm going to let that sit. And I'm thinking maybe I might pull that coil out of there so I can put an impact on it. I have long sockets, deep sockets. So I'm going to take a break and I'll come back and probably take that spring out. They're 9/16. They aren't metric. They're 9/16, which this is the frustrating part about this truck. Is half of it is and half of it isn't. So, and I don't think I have to take these right off. I just have to back it out of there. The spring's already loosening it up, just like so. And inside, what these bolt into are like a nut plate with like a hoop on it, like a strap. So it clamps onto the spring, so you don't have to take them right out. You just have to get enough so that you can turn the spring backwards, like this. And that's a lot easier than fighting with that long bolt. 1.1/8", but I'm using a 19 because I happen to have one sitting there. All right. Oh yeah, that's a lot better than fighting with it. I'm glad I decided to take that spring off. Can this bolt turn? Because it's probably locked in there solid. But if I go underneath, I might be able to get it started with the impact. You guys probably couldn't even see what was going on. All right, so what I did, I spun it with from down below with the impact. Now I'm going to hit it from the top with the hammer. And there she goes. Hopefully I have enough room in here. There she goes. She's tight though. There she goes. Now we can get this radius arm out of here. And she is right there. Look at that. Now we can replace those rubbers. It's like so. It was pounding on through this gap here. Anyway, it's still good. The threads are good, so we'll use it. All right, got some bushings here. MK8 101. These are the same bushings I used in the radius arm on the Thunderbird. So I'm going to go with it here because they're designed for these F series trucks. So what did I do with my emery cloth? All right, so I got a little bit of emery cloth here. So I'm just going to clean up this a little bit. Get that off out of the way for now. This spindle is it's well used, but there's lots of meat left on there yet. So that's clean enough for this project. That on like that. Grab one of these suckers here. All right. So I have a little bit of petroleum jelly. We'll put on there just to help that on. Slipped on pretty easy. Like I said, that shaft on that is worn a bit. And the other one we'll save for once we get it in place. Well, time to put that arm back on, the radius arm back on. There she goes. I'm going to go up a little higher so it's more of a straight on push. There. That's up as high as it's going to go. There she goes. Oh. There we go. That'll work. All right. And I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize on, just the silver stuff here. Let's stir it up a bit. It's been sitting for a while. Separates when it sits. All right. That'll help future issues. All right. Now, stay back there, will you? I know what I'm going to do. I'll just pry right in here. There she goes. And I'm going to zippy that back down with the impact. If I'm going to have room for that, I might have to let that axle down. I'm going to have to let that axle down again. That should let me get that on. Oh yeah, lots of room to work there now. There, I think that's probably enough torque. Not too worried about it. I'll try it with my 1 1/8 wrench. If I can't get anything on it, then ooh, that's on there. Yeah, good. Put the Ooga Dooga stir. There, the spring perch is back on. I bought heavy duty springs for it last time when I bought them. And they've been nice because they get a better ride height, so it. All right. Oh. Can't really see what's going on up in there. There it goes. There. Spin that back in. So the top of the coil spring has to come over to here. So I have to turn the spring so the top of it goes right to this end. Not past, but right to it. There, she's in place. This will go back on like so. So hopefully that's enough, and hopefully you can see it. Shouldn't need much petroleum jelly for this. No, I don't think so. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that on. So I may have to yank that back with something. I wonder if I can pry it back with a pry bar. Probably can. Okay. So I'm just using the pry bar. Oh yeah, there it goes. Just up, you can't see it, not likely, but the pry bar up just in one of the cross members. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, perfect. Now, the washer and the nut. Get that started. I don't need petroleum jelly on that. There. Good. We'll get that hammered in there. Where's my impact? And then we'll go put the spring back together. Got the old Hitachi up there. All right, let's do this over again. Fail. There. All right. Pro tip. Use the right direction. All right, Mr. Hitachi, do your job. There, that's up tight. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks a lot better. All right, let's go up front here and we'll get this spring put back in and tightened up. Spring sitting in where it should be sitting. I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize on the threads. Don't need to kill it with it, but just enough. So the next time someone or I have to do it, it'll be there. Wow. All right. That's her. And I can't get my socket in there, so I'm going to have to crank this down by hand. So I'll get that done. I think if you had an open end wrench, it would be easier, but I don't have an open end wrench that big. So I'm just using this box end. I might have to move you guys. Oh, there we go. That's good. I'd say that'll do her. Not gonna get any more out of me anyway. All right, we'll tighten these back up. That's the strap that holds the upper part of the spring in place while you're working on the bottom. Nice to have. It really does come in handy, so I wouldn't get rid of it unless you've snapped it off and you don't want to replace it, but I would recommend having it there. You can get by without it, but it does make life a lot easier. But you don't change these very often either. How often you do this work on these old trucks? There. All right, now we have the shock to put back on. There now, the old shock is back in place. Spring is back. Looking good way back here. Nice, nice. Don't let me forget, guys, I need to get new brake lines too. These are chewed up pretty good. Well, there we go. That one's in. Looks good. Looks good. Springs back in. Tightened the top bolts. I did the shock is hooked up. I don't think you can see it, but it's hooked up. And everything's in place there. Now that bolt there, the one through the I-beam right there, that was brutal. The other side, the driver's side, was easy. This one took a lot to get it out. You might run into issues with that bolt if you're in a rusty area. So you might want to have some heat available to you. Acetylene would be great, but be careful heating the I-beam. Don't damage it. But anyway, that's it. They're all back together. The wheel's on. The wheel's torqued. Hub covers are back on. Now it's time to take it for a test drive. I'll take her out into the country a bit here. Oh, that turns much better. There's no clunking. No clunking. Wow, that's been a long time since it didn't clunk. Yeah, that helped a lot. We're doing 70 kilometers per hour, and before she used to wander really bad. And now it's pretty darn good. We'll take a little shot around, and then we'll head her for home again. And I'll have to let my wife drive it and see what she thinks of it. She's going to be the ultimate judge on it. But I know from driving it, personally from driving it, it was all over the map trying to keep it straight on the road, especially in the wind. If it was windy out, which it's often windy here in the prairies, it was very difficult to keep it. You're on the wheel constantly. All right, let's take a little scoot out on the countryside where I can get her up to some speed here. So yeah, it's running good. I'm at 90 kilometers per hour and I haven't had to play with the wheel at all hardly. And it is a little windy. So this is the road we normally would take over to Martinsville. We'll run the back road. Her sister just lives up here. So she's gonna be happy with this, I think. All right, we'll do a loop and head her for back. Round the roundabout. I like these roundabouts. There we go. Head her home again. All right, everyone, that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.